This podcast is entitled Experiencing Customer Satisfaction. Not long ago, my wife and I had just a horrible experience in a restaurant with the service, with the quality of food, and even with the manager. And that's right, I'm not really one of those that says everything's fine when it's not. And I know that you've probably experienced where you've been in a restaurant and you hear the manager coming by, how everything cooked to your satisfaction, everything. And almost always you hear them say, oh, everything's fine. And then when the manager walks away, oh, it's so cold it came out, it's rare, it's supposed to be medium well. Well, you know what, you ought to tell the manager. And my wife says that I shouldn't be so honest. But, you know, my answer to that is that if you don't want my answer, don't ask the question. But anyway, it reminds me of an exercise that can be done, and we've done in our organization, that whether you're in-house or whether you're a building service contractor, it's an exercise that can work very well. And it's called the importance of customer relations. And so what we do is we hand out a sheet of paper and with some instructions on it, and let me just go through it briefly with you here. It says, take a few minutes to think of some time that you received particularly bad service. Maybe you were in a restaurant. Maybe you bought something from a store and it didn't work. Or maybe you tried to return something to a store. Maybe you took something to be repaired and it wasn't. Every so often this happens to all of us. Think about one time this happened to you. Go over in your mind exactly what happened and try to recall conversations and the people you dealt with. As you do, answer these questions, and then we ask them to briefly answer the questions, and we generally ask them, you know, we pick on someone or ask someone to volunteer to, we don't pick on someone, we ask someone to volunteer to give us their answers. But the questions are, how do you feel? How did you feel? Did you think your position was reasonable? How did you feel about the people and the company providing you with service after it was all over? I can tell you how my wife felt about the people and the company after our service was over. Did you go back to the company? No. If so, did you also start going elsewhere? Did you tell other people about your experience with this company? And that's a big one, isn't it? If you have a bad experience, how many times have you had a bad experience with someone and you've told everybody in sight, you know, don't go to that restaurant, it's terrible. And boy, that's the devastating mark of disaster for a restaurant or any establishment for that matter. If they have a bad reputation, you can't stop the train from going off the cliff once it's started. You know, but so after doing this exercise with our people, and you can do with your organization, relate it to our customers. In other words, the big one. Do our customers tell other people about their experience with our quality of work? Putting it that way, you know, it's pretty important that we should always make sure we're doing customer satisfaction. It seems like when we do this exercise and we ask them that question, you know, about do the customers tell other people about the service we perform, that always seems to get their attention, because word does travel. Whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad, it travels. And we want to make sure we provide customer satisfaction. You see, remember, customer service is a concept. Customer satisfaction is a demonstration. And I would close by saying, how are you demonstrating?